Good morning. It's about 10 after 6 a.m. I slept pretty well last night. I woke up several times and was a little restless, but for the most part, I feel pretty rested. My legs are definitely, I still know that I hiked 20 miles and 6,000 feet in 90-degree temps yesterday. But today should be easier. I think today is like total of just under 2,000 feet of gain. There's more downs today, but I'm doing less miles today. So here's my plan. I'm rolling the dice a little bit. So I've got 14.8 miles from the shelter that I was at to a road crossing. From that road crossing, I intend to hitch into Glasgow, Virginia, and that's going to be the big kicker. How long is it going to take me to get a hitch? I'm really hoping that I can get a quick hitch, get in there and resupply my food, and then eat a meal at a restaurant. I think there's one restaurant in that town. And then get back to the trail and just do like a mile and a half to a shelter area. To give me about 16 for the day, and then I'll be resupplied. That should take me through Waynesboro. So that's, depending on how all that works out, will be a big determinant of my day. I'm hoping to be to the road by 1:30 or 2 p.m. because I'm not going to go very fast today. And I think I'm actually going to stop. I haven't had breakfast yet. The sun's just about to rise that way behind me. And I'm less than a mile from a parking lot on the Blue Ridge Parkway where I'm going to throw my trash away. And if they have a picnic table, I think I'll sit down there and have breakfast. So anyway, if all works out well, today should be an easy day. But there's a lot of ifs. I just need a quick hitch, need to get my chores, and be able to get a quick hitch back to the trail. And that will make for a nice day, kind of relaxing. So, all right, well, I'll get back to you in a bit and show you the sights and let you know how it all turns out. All right, so the trail does not come directly into this parking lot. I had to take a side trail, but I wanted to get rid of my trash and it wasn't very far. And there's a 10-minute loop trail. And there are no cars here yet. And it's a Saturday morning. I was hoping for a picnic table, but I don't see one. So I was able to find a picnic table right back there off the parking lot. So I sat and had a protein bar, and then I had a Luna bar as well. No one has shown up. It was perfectly peaceful, except for the wind. It is windy today. Anyway, heading back to the trail. Gotta make some miles. I'm off to a slow start. I've been hiking now almost 2 hours, and I've only done like 3.5 miles between my little breakfast pit stop. Then I had to dig a cat hole, just stopped for water, and my water filter is starting to be pretty slow. I need to get a new one. I don't think there'll be an opportunity for that until Waynesboro next week. So anyway, I'm definitely not making any speed records today. I still have a little over 11-ish or 11.5 miles to get to town. So when I started this morning, I was thinking I'd be there by 2 o'clock or be to the road by 2. Starting to wonder if that's going to happen. Hopefully I don't get held up too much more. If any of you follow the AT, there's an iconic thing coming up today. It's a James River footbridge. It's a 1,000-foot long footbridge. It's the longest on the AT. Just coming down off the summit of High Cock Knob. And these are my least favorite type of trails. They need to be manicured. You just gotta walk through with everything brushing against your legs. And as soon as you get through them, check for ticks. And while you're going through them, hoping a snake don't grab you. Look at this big guy I just walked up on. He's probably 5 feet long. There's a big old rat snake. Look at that rattling his tail to try to mimic a rattler. Alright, it's a couple minutes after 10 a.m. Been on trail 4 hours. I think, I don't know, I've done about 8-ish miles, I think. Just filtered water again from a spring. Been trying to drink all my water between springs and fill up every time just to stay ahead of on the hydration game here, since we got another day in the 90s coming along. So whatever it is, about 7 more miles I think to the road where I'm gonna roll the dice on getting a hitch. Some of the first views of the James River down below, and let me tell you, it's pretty, but up here it feels like I'm standing in front of an oven with the door open. It is hot. All right, just stopped for water again, but it was the last time I'll be stopping for water until I get to town. Got less than 4 miles until I get to the parking area, and I'll tell you, I was starting to get tired and hot just because of the heat and all, and hungry. I realized I hadn't eaten nearly enough calories, so I ate another protein bar, but I'm still I've done almost 11 miles today, or right at 11, and I've probably only had 1,000 calories. But I did put my feet in the water for a few minutes, and even 2 minutes of your feet in some ice cold spring water make you feel so good. I also washed my shirt again, wiped down a little bit, feel like a new person, and it's mostly all downhill to the road. So looking forward to getting there, hopefully get that easy hitch, resupply, and go to a diner, get some food. All right, here's the James River footbridge. All right, here I am walking across the footbridge. There's a bunch of local kids swimming back there. They're all talking about jumping off, but none of them have done it. I see a bunch of cars over there, and there have been a bunch of people around here, so hopefully that's a good sign for getting a ride, and quickly. All right, made it to the road a little before 1:30. Have my thumb out here, but so far no luck. So far the hitchhiking isn't working out. And this car's turning, so I thought maybe we could try that one, but nope. Okay, I got a guy that was in the parking lot to give me and another guy a ride to town. I checked out the Grocery Express. They have most of what I need. I grabbed a Gatorade and a candy bar. I'm gonna walk over to Dollar General and check out their selection, and then come back, finish up my resupply. I ran into a couple other people that I haven't seen since before trail days, and apparently there are actually hot showers for free here at the town shelter as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my resupply done. I'm gonna get a shower, and then I think I will go to the restaurant and eat. It's only a little after 2, so even if it's after 6 before I get back to the trail, it'll be perfectly fine. Get to spend a few hours just kind of relaxing and get some chores done here in town. It's a cute little town, very quiet though. This is a outdoor hot shower. So this was awesome. This was a town-sponsored shelter equipped with electric and a shower. So far, my town visit has been a huge success. I've resupplied
I have way too much food because I didn't really know how long I needed. And it was at least probably 4 days. I went to 2 different stores, just grabbed a bunch of stuff, and I got a lot. Anyway, I did go ahead and have an iced honey bun while I was waiting at the shelter because I showered. I washed all my clothes in the shower, hung them up to dry, charged my devices, and right now I'm heading to the restaurant, sitting there and eat and hydrate. And then at some point this evening, I'm gonna try to get a hitch back out to the trail. Well, I tried to hitch. It didn't go very well. I stuck my thumb out for a few minutes. Several cars went by. Most of them going the wrong direction or were turning into the restaurant or grocery store that I was standing by. I asked a few people, but none of them were going this way. So I just called the hostel and asked for a shuttle. So Stanimals in Glasgow, thank you very much. He came, picked me up. He was there really quickly. And he told me I didn't know him anything because he's already coming this way anyway. I paid him anyway though because he bailed me out. And now I'm back on trail. I'm actually not sure what time it is. It's before 5 o'clock, maybe 4:30. And I'm just gonna mosey on for about a mile, 1.7, and stop at the shelter for the night.
Look at that hiker tan on my ankles. Everything went as planned. I made it back into the shelter. I think I did a total of 16 point something, including then I went to resupply, showered, all the good stuff. So now tomorrow I think I have 18.3 on the docket. Supposed to have some storms possibly overnight. Just kind of hit and miss maybe. And also tomorrow it is thundering right now, but we haven't seen any kind of rain or lightning. I wish we'd get a little bit of wind. It's hot and stagnant. That shower was mostly useless. The 1.9 miles or 1.7 or whatever it was up to the shelter was enough to basically erase that whole shower. All right. So, good news. Guess what? As of Monday, we've had highs in the 90s for the last several days. Monday, the high is 70. I cannot wait. All right. Sweet dreams.
Good morning. As you saw, we had a storm come through last night when it was still daylight. I would like to report that it cooled things off a bit, but it didn't. Anyway, I slept hard last night. I woke up a few times and quickly went right back to sleep. Man, I feel very rested today. I slept in more than I have been and kind of piddled around this morning. Over half the people have already left camp. There's only a few left when I left. It's about 6:59 a.m. I think. And let me tell you, we don't have water for a while today, like maybe 10 miles. So I cameled up and I've got 2 liters plus my full food bag. And this pack is feeling heavy. But anyway, I've got 18.3, I think, today. Depending on how I feel, now I could maybe go a little further, but I got a plan to get to shelter at 18.3 today. Tomorrow should be a little easier, less climbing. Do 22 and a half or something. And then that leaves me only like 15 or 16 on Tuesday to get where Bill's gonna pick me up. I looked at some stuff last night, did a little more planning, so. Anyway, I'm just kind of going to mosey today and take it easy and get my miles done. I am hot. I camped last night at the base of this mountain. I've been climbing the mountain for almost an hour. Still got quite a ways to go. But I have to stop and show you this. Look at that. Way above the clouds. Is that not just incredible? They're in there dense too.
Check out this green snake. Came across this tree, climbing up that branch. There he is, hard to find him there. He's like perfect camouflage, isn't it? Okay, I made it to the top. I think this is pretty much the last of the big climbing for today. It's early, but man, it's a rough morning. But look at these views. I'm gonna zoom in. It's a little hazy. I'm gonna stop and have a break. I had a good break up there on top. Ate way too much junk. I needed the calories, but I also needed to get some weight out of my food bag. So I've got about another mile to a shelter where I'm gonna have to go about a quarter mile off trail to get water, and then a quarter mile back to trail. The rest of today is supposed to be fairly tame terrain. I've got, I think, less than 11 left total on the day. It's about 11 o'clock. And I may go further, but depending on the weather, because we're still supposed to have some storms this afternoon. But 1 mile before the shelter I'm kind of have my eye on is a waterfall. So depending on what that looks like, and depending on the weather, I may stop at that waterfall for a bit, cool off, and then only have 1 mile into the camp, and then just have a fairly chill 18.3 mile day, and then I have 22 and a half tomorrow. Tomorrow though, it's gonna be significantly cooler, and after that shelter is almost 3,000 foot climb. So it'd be nicer to do that when it was cool, but if I'm too early today, maybe nice to get that climb out of the way. So I don't know, just wait and see how the day shapes up. See a nice little stealth camping site in the woods, but my goodness, what is this? This is fancy. This may be the fanciest one I've seen. Holy cow. Ladies and gentlemen, I just hiked 800 miles of the Appalachian Trail. And this is the coolest mile marker that anyone's made so far. The leaves between all the pine cones were a nice touch. One thing I was going to talk about last night, and I didn't just because it was in my tent and there were some other people around the camp area. So the bubble, or I don't know if it's just because of where we are in the hike or just kind of the bubble of people I'm in right now. There really isn't any like tramleys or even nobody's grouped up. Pretty much everyone is hiking alone. Maybe it's like hiking partners, maybe 2 people or a couple or something like that. But for the most part, everyone's alone, and everything is just about the business of making miles. Pretty much everybody's doing 20-ish a day, and it's, you know, wake up, chit chat while you're doing your chores, and everybody gets going. You may chit chat during water or a natural breaking point somewhere in the day, but for the most part, everybody's into the business of making miles right now, which I'm good with because, like I said before, I was ready to do some grinding for a week or two and get some miles under my belt. So anyway, big milestone. Really proud of myself for getting this far. And there's a really cool waterfall today, so hopefully the weather holds out for that. Sorry, I did not get very good footage of that snake. A lot of times I see stuff and I stop and look at it, and then I think, oh, I better film this. So I missed the best part of it, but that one was laying right on the side of the trail. Like I walked almost parallel to it, just stopped maybe a foot and a half short of it before when I realized it was laying there in the shadow.
Hey, look at Lil'Chap. Look at Lil'Chap.
You went to more spam singles, huh? Another cool suspension bridge. Okay, so some hikers that I've known for quite a while. It's a mother-daughter duo. Their names are Alada and Maggie. Maggie's husband meets them frequently in an RV. So they were parked at the road crossing. They give me a Gatorade and ice cream. And Alada has had this dog following her for several miles, and she says it's hers now, I guess. They were trying to get it to eat, and it wouldn't eat anything they tried to give it. I said, I got something it'll eat. Luckily, I had too much food, or I hope I had too much food. We'll see. I don't think I'll go hungry. But it loved the spam singles. So I gave him 2 spam singles. The dog went from afraid of me to loving me. My pack's a little lighter. I may be regretting it if I'm hungry in a couple days and don't have more food, but oh well, the pup was hungry. All right, hiking on. Just past this big rock right here on the other side of that rapid is a pretty deep pool, at least 3 feet. So I soaked my feet for a bit. I cleaned my shirt out pretty good, cleaned my underwear out. I got my whole body cleaned up, even like washed my head and all the sweat and everything off. So I feel really good now. It's 4:45. I had some snacks. I chugged a liter of water, and I filtered 2 more liters of water. So I'm carrying 2 liters. Right now I'm only about just under a mile, like 7/10 of a mile from the shelter that I was aiming for. Let me check the area here to make sure I didn't leave anything. Okay, so I never really found the swimming hole that was mentioned. The guide says something. Ooh, there's thunder rumbling. So I don't know. We'll see if that thunder changes much for me. I've had no cell service for several hours today, so haven't been able to check the weather. I know there was chances this evening. So anyway, that shelter is only like 7/10 of a mile. It's only like another 1.9 beyond that. That's part of the. We'll get part of this big climb out of the way tonight, and there's a parking lot with picnic area. So it doesn't say anything about you can camp there or not, but I'm planning to go there and roll the dice and hope to find somewhere to pitch my tent. Unless I get up here to this shelter and there's just some primo spot. The people that I knew that her husband is following them in the RV, when I told them that was maybe where I was going to go to that parking lot, they said they were going to go there also. They're slack packing up to there. They're still behind me somewhere, and he's going to drive up there. So, and they plan to sleep in the parking lot in an RV. So I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to get those extra miles. I feel pretty good, and just hope to find a spot up there. Because if that doesn't work, I got to push a lot more of a climb, another 3 miles to a shelter, and that would be like dark or after when I got there, I think. But anyway, let's see what happens. We're at the Blue Ridge Parkway. Yeah, I gave up hiking. I'm in an RV now.
That's right.
Hiking's lame.
Yellow blazing it all the way to Maine.
Oh, that's a bad word. Don't say yellow blazing. We're going back to the trail. So I got to the parking lot. It was still raining. I was soaked. And some other hikers that I know have someone following them in an RV for a couple days. So they were going to camp at the same gap. And they asked if I wanted to go to town with them. So we came to town, got barbecue. And now we are stopping to look at a big robot, which I'll show you in a second. And then we're going to head back, and I got to put my tent up, and I'm camping in the parking lot next to the road. And then I'll be able to get to hiking in the morning, but it's clear skies now. Check this thing out. It looks like it's holding a motorcycle with a basket on its hand there.
All right, pose. Act like you're having fun. There we go. All right, do another goofy pose. There we go. All right, another one. You're modeling. Woo!
I'm done model.